Welcome to Week 5 of the NFL season for the Green Bay Packers after an absolute heartbreaking loss last week to the Minnesota Vikings, where they were within a onside kick of winning the game. They go to LA this week to play the Rams. Now, this is going to kind of be a home game for the Packers in a way because, as we've seen with LA or with the Rams, the away teams travel a lot better than the Rams fans because there aren't really a lot of real LA Rams fans or Chargers fans for that either. There's too much entertainment dollar for your, in LA. Now, the Rams certainly probably have more than the Chargers, but is that really saying much? Probably not. But it should be a good game. Let's get into it. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, hit me up in the comments down below. The Packers. Their game plan is definitely gonna have to be better. I don't know what Matt LaFleur was doing the first part of the game last week, but it just wasn't working. Short and out routes. Or they started out pretty good with a run, but then they went away with it. I mean, I think Jacobs only had like 9 carries last week, and when he was carrying the ball, he was doing really well. But all of a sudden, they just stopped. Now, the game did get away with him, so Jordan Love did have to air it out more in order to make that game as competitive as it ended up being. But still, gotta get through early with the run, and I think the Rams are pretty susceptible to that. Josh Jacobs should have a pretty good game. He should be able to go over 100 yards in this game. The blocking definitely has to get better. Again, the penalties have been a killer for the Packers from start to finish. You're on the word go. Penalties have been an issue for this team, whether it's on the defense side of the ball or the offensive side of the ball. Now, Jordan Love is another week removed from his MCL sprain, so hopefully he should be a little better. Hopefully he's not underthrowing passes like he was just about every other play or airmailing them. No more airmailing. I know he has been susceptible in the past to airmailing to wide receivers like last week with that last interception that he threw. Unacceptable. You can never do that. It's literally, I was at the game. If you remember, I made that comment in my last video. As you saw him throwing, as the ball left his hand, you knew it was going to be picked because it was airmail, it was soaring higher and higher, and all the guy for, I think it was Metellus, just had to do was just wait there, jump up, catch it, and there goes there was a huge hit to their comeback. Now again, they did bring it to within an onside kick, but that one play, if that ends in even a field goal, the Packers win. But instead, they threw an interception. I think this should be a good game for tight ends. I think Tucker Kraft should have a pretty good game. Musgrave should be able to get in some good catches and runs as well. Like I said, the Rams defense isn't bad per se. It's actually been pretty good the past couple weeks, but it's not the greatest either. It's pretty middle of the road, maybe lower 2/3, but definitely not someone that's shining in terms of best defenses in the league. They are susceptible to the run, and the tight end pass out route should be a good way for them to get some big yards. Now, the defense, I think, should have a pretty good game as well. Rams offensive line definitely has been better. They've had some injuries here and there, but overall, their offensive line has been pretty solid. Kerwin Williams has had a pretty up and down year. He's had some good games, and then some games are just worth forgetting about. And should they be able to get to Matt Stafford? Well, surely they should be able to get to Matt Stafford, cause some sacks, and keep those turnovers going. If they can keep the turnovers going, the Packers are definitely going to have a great chance to win this game. Now, Quay Walker, again, please show us your gifts. I mean, Jeff Halfway raves about Quay Walker all the time. We need to see those gifts. We need to see why he was drafted in the first round a couple years ago, because he just, at times he's shown it. Like last week, he made a nice play that really helped or turn the momentum in the Packers' favor, but we need to see more of that. Show us why you're one of the best linebackers in the league. If you can do that, the Packers are going to really improve and get even better than they have been. Xavier McKinney has been a godsend for the Packers. He has turned that secondary around like nobody's business. Sure, early on in the game, they just got torched left and right. Jordan Addison was just running wild. Justin Jefferson was getting catches with ease. And just Darnold was making all the plays. Now, Matt Stafford hasn't had the greatest year, especially since he's down Puka Nakua and Cooper Kupp. We'll see if Cooper Kupp is able to go. I doubt he will be out there, but I mean, if he is, that's just another dimension to add to the somewhat pretty good offense for the Rams. Secondary is definitely going to have to tighten up. Now, like I said, they've had some really good games with the turnovers, but no more big bombs. It's not like the Rams have anybody really to worry about in their receiving lineup. I mean, Tutu Atwell, who's had a few games in the past, but nothing consistent. Kobe Parkinson, I mean, he's a tight end, but pretty middle of the road tight end. Kerwin Williams is definitely the playmaker to watch. Now, they need to eliminate the run as much as possible, which they have been able to do as the season has gone along. They did a real good job stopping Tony Pollard in week 3. Held Aaron Jones to no rushing touchdowns or touchdowns in general, and under 100 yards last week. But at times, especially later in the day, they were just getting gashed left and right. The time just kept ticking off the clock. And as a result, Packers lost a lot of ground. Now, sure, they made it a close game in the end, but some of those drives, they should have stopped Aaron Jones for like a lot less. He was really able to gash them towards the end of the game, and I fear that that's how this game could go with Kerwin Williams. He's a pretty darn good running back. While he hasn't had the best year, he is still one of the best young running backs in the league, and Stafford's going to rely on him, especially without his two big weapons on the outside. He's going to depend on getting Kerwin Williams the ball, handing off, definitely in those short routes to him as well. He's definitely a weapon to worry about. Overall, I think the Packers have a pretty darn good chance to win. Like I said, it's going to kind of be, I would think, a heavy Green Bay Packer fan affair there. The Rams fans have definitely gotten better as of late in the last couple years, especially after the Super Bowl win. But still, a large amount of the fans that go to the Rams games are very fair weather fan for sure. Now, there probably are some diehards out there, but it's nothing like the way the Green Bay Packers are. The Green Bay Packers fans travel better than any fan in the NFL. And with this being in LA, it could be Green Bay West, kind of. Not fully, but, it should make an impact. But the big points are if Jordan Love can get off the schneid. He had a pretty good week last week. If he can limit the underthrows and some of the overthrows, Josh Jacobs can get close to 100 yards or over it. If Tucker Graff can get some good run as well, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, and of course the great Jaden Reed, the Packers have a really good shot to win. And top of the defense, as long as the turnovers keep coming, they limit the running on the ground from Kerwin Williams. They get some sacks. It's a really good recipe for success. Now, Packers are going to have to get going off early. The Rams aren't the best team since starting out, but even without Cooper Kupp and Puka Nakua, they've shown they've been able to score. I mean, even though they lost to, or even though they were down by the 49ers 14-0 or a couple weeks ago, they came back and won it all. They did kind of struggle against the Bears defense, but it was a close game last week, and it's probably going to be a close game again this week as well. So in the long run, I think the Packers win. I think the Packers win 24-21. It's going to be a really close game. And again, one thing I didn't mention, the kicking. I know people want Braden Darvison gone. I know you want Braden Darvison gone. I know you do. There's just not a lot out there. There's not a lot to get better. And the Packers still believe in him. They still believe in him. Even though his field goal percentage is like below 70%, he still is a young kicker. He's a rookie. It takes time to get in there. At least he looks better than fucking Andrews Carlson. Come on. Can we at least agree on that Braden Darvison looks like the better overall kicker long term for the Packers than or Carlson did. I know people are like saying, "Oh, let's bring Carlson back. He's got to be out there." It's like, no, you moved on from him. Don't bring him back. Braden Harvison is the kicker for now, and unless he like goes like over 5 one day, I just don't see any reason that they're gonna get rid of him. There's just really nobody out there that you're really gonna make a big run at. Make your every down kicker. There's just not a lot out there. Braden Harvison is the kicker for the Green Bay Packers for the future, or for at least this year, I would think. Maybe we'll see what happens in the offseason, but Narvison is the kicker right now, and still, despite his misses, I still think the Packers win. But it's going to be close, and it probably will come down to a couple of kicks. But let me know what you think down below. Otherwise, have a great day. God bless, and as always, go Pack Go.